Hey guys, this is Anthony Munda helping you ace your fitness, and today we're going to be talking about intermittent fasting, how it affects weight loss, some advantages and disadvantages to it, and if you should be doing it. So if you're new to my channel and you're on your weight loss journey right now, or you're just struggling to get in shape in general, consider subscribing for more future content. You're going to get a lot of weight loss content here, a lot of how to maintain your shape while still living your life. If you have a busy schedule, I'm going to teach you how to navigate around that and still stay in shape. All those things like that. So make sure you consider subscribing. And for my subscribers right now, thank you so much for your continued support. You guys know it means the world to me. Alright, so let's get right into it. So what is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is basically a method of portion control, a method of caloric restriction control. So a general practice of intermittent fasting is, okay, I'm going to stop eating at 8 p.m. I'm going to wake up, instead of having breakfast or brunch or a snack like I usually do, I'm going to wait until about noon. And then my eating window is going to be from noon to about 8 p.m. Okay, so a lot of people do like an 8-hour eating window or a 12-hour eating window, as opposed to eating all throughout the day as soon as you wake up. Okay, so before we start, talking about the advantages and disadvantages, I think of intermittent fasting more of a diet tool or diet strategy as opposed to just a diet, right? Okay, so we know from now the only way to lose weight is to be in an energy deficit or a caloric deficit, okay? So if you watched all my other videos, I mentioned that 1,000 times. So basically, this is the number of calories your body needs to maintain your current weight. You need to eat under that to lose weight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So doing intermittent fasting, having an eating window, there's nothing special about it, but it helps control your calories. And now we're going to get into the advantages of it and why I recommend it for some individuals, okay? So let's think about it. If you have an 8-hour eating window as opposed to eating as soon as you get up and all throughout the day and all throughout until you go to bed, you're intuitively going to eat less because you're going to have a shorter amount of time to fit in, calories, right? So that's the advantage of number one is dietary adherence or, calorie control. Number two would be you're going to be able to eat bigger meals, okay? So instead of having to save your calories and split your calories up all throughout the day into 5 or 6, 7 meals or whatever you're used to, you're probably going to be able to fit your calories into 2 or 3 meals. So those meals are going to be huge, and that leads me to number 3 is you're going to feel so much more full as opposed to eating all throughout the day, simply because you're going to be eating the whole amount of calories you have in any given day in a very short amount of time, okay, in like 2 or 3 meals. So those are the advantages of it, but remember throughout this whole video, the only reason it works is when you maintain a caloric deficit, okay? So what are some disadvantages? So I do recommend it a lot, but for some people, I don't see it as a very viable option. I'm going to tell you why, okay? So a lot of people have a messed up relationship with food in the first place. So intermittent fasting can kind of contribute to that, because especially if you're giving yourself such rigid eating hours. So say if you get hungry at 10:30, but you're like, no, like I can't eat till noon. Like you're not able to rely on your internal hunger cues to actually assess your hunger, assess if it's emotional hunger or like you're actually hungry. You're not able to assess that if you're giving yourself such a rigid eating window, right? So that may contribute to your poor relationship with food. Another reason is you may be hungry at 10:30, and because you don't eat at 10:30 and you wait till noon, you literally just like gorge right at noon, and because you're so not malnourished, but you're so hungry and you've been thinking about food for an hour and a half, so you may eat way more than you planned on, which may set you back, a couple days or something like that. Another disadvantage is it might not just be practical for you, right? So sometimes we like to go out to eat breakfast, or sometimes we wake up and we're hungrier, that day more than other days, okay? So again, we're kind of like this, if this diet starts to interrupt your everyday life to a point where you feel like it's a burden, or you feel like, it's something that you're punishing yourself with, it's not worth it. Just like any other diet, we have to find something that you can sustain, something that you can remain consistent with, and something that, again, just doesn't interrupt your everyday lifestyle. And also I want to point out there's like a ton of research on this, and I read an interview by Dr. Brad Schoenfeld. So if you don't know who Brad is, you definitely need to get on his stuff, because he's like the king of exercise, fitness, and training, and all the types of protocol in the fitness industry right now. So I'll link his stuff down there, his Instagram, Twitter, and all that. He basically did an interview about intermittent fasting, and he was asked, is intermittent fasting a suitable method for weight loss in fitness enthusiasts and bodybuilders? And Dr. Schoenfeld said, the weight loss benefits of intermittent fasting appear to be solely a function of restricting caloric consumption. By limiting the window in which food is eaten, intermittent fasting helps you control caloric consumption and thus facilitate fat loss. It should be noted that the same results can be achieved simply by controlling calories via portion control in a standard dietary approach. Therefore, the best practice dietary approach for weight loss depends on the individual. And that's exactly what I always talk about, right? So there's no perfect diet, and I even did a video on that. It's all about what you can sustain. So there's been plenty of research on this, and it's no better than any other diet. There's nothing special about it. It simply just allows you to be more adherent to your diet, because you're going to have more calories in a shorter amount of time. So it's going to make you feel more full, and it's going to knock out, maybe 5, 6, 7 hours that you're used to eating calories. So it keeps your calories kind of like under control. It kind of keeps you like very conscious of when you're eating. With that being said, you still have to maintain a caloric deficit to lose weight on intermittent fasting. So the other case for intermittent fasting comes down to improving certain health markers, especially insulin sensitivity. So I'm sure you guys have heard of that before. In insulin, it's a hormone that's produced by the pancreas. So basically how that works is whenever we eat, our insulin is spiked, and that's supposed to tell our body to kind of push that fuel, push that glucose that we just consumed into our cells so that we can use it as fuel and, stay alive and have enough energy. But with all that being said, you know what else improves insulin sensitivity even better? Exercising, maintaining a healthy body weight. So being in a caloric deficit, losing a few pounds, getting to a healthy body weight, okay? Reducing stress as much as possible, and getting the appropriate amount of sleep, okay? So those are all things that we can control more than a hormone, right? So yes, intermittent fasting can improve insulin sensitivity. It may improve certain health markers, but what improves that even more, and what we even have more control over, is losing weight, is being more active, reducing stress, and getting an appropriate amount of sleep. And those things combined, I can tell you, will do much more for your insulin sensitivity than just intermittent fasting. Okay, so to wrap it all up here, intermittent fasting is an awesome diet strategy or a eating schedule to keep your calories under wraps so that you're not eating more calories than you should be. There's nothing special about it. You still have to count your calories, or if you don't, you still have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. That eating window, nothing special about that. Can it improve insulin sensitivity? Sure, it can. It definitely can, for sure. There's definitely research on it, but what can improve it even more is just lowering your body weight, getting to a healthier body weight, and all those other factors that I mentioned. So I would definitely look at that first before we try to find the perfect diet that may not even fit our lifestyle, okay? So I hope this all made sense. It's a very popular topic within the weight loss community and fitness community. So I would say if it works for you, if it helps you control your caloric intake, then definitely do it. If you wake up and you're starving every day, then it may not be for you, okay? Just eat, okay? Because I don't want you to, again, contribute to that poor relationship with food. I want you to, in the end, be able to eat when you're hungry and not eat when you're not hungry, okay? That sounds simple, but that's not practical for most people, right? Because we get into emotional eating, we get into eating when we're bored. Having such a rigid eating schedule may not be the best for most people. So you really just have to assess your personal lifestyle and what you can sustain. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the continued support. It means the world to me. Like I said in the beginning of the video, please be on the lookout for more future content. I love sharing content with you guys, helping you guys out. And if you have anything you want to know, please drop it down in the comments. I'd love to make a video over it. Make sure you like and subscribe, and remember, the process is always greater than the prize.